Hi, I'm Steve Northway with Northway Construction, and today we're fortunate to have Gord Cooke of Building Knowledge Inc. Join us. Gord is a nationally recognized building science trainer and seminar instructor. I've asked Gord to address some of the top questions that homeowners ask regarding building and remodeling their homes. Enjoy.
So the question I hear a lot is energy efficiency really worth it? Is it? And that's a question I love answering, because we do know, as I said earlier, this compelling trend of codes and standards ramping up energy efficiency every 3 to 5 years by 20%. What's really fascinating is that in today's world, because interest rates are so low and the cost of energy keeps rising, it's actually the best investment you can make. We can easily show that in almost all contexts, with almost all technologies, if you improve the energy efficiency of a house by 20%, the savings that you get from that more than pay for the financing cost to finance that energy improvement. So for example, you invest $5,000, say, in more energy efficient housing technology. That's a cost to a homeowner on a mortgage payment of roughly, $25, $30 a month. But the savings in energy is going to be in the order of $50 to $60 a month. So it has an immediate payback because of those two important facts. The price of energy has never been higher, the cost of borrowing has never been lower. What's really more powerful, though, is energy efficiency, or the items that make houses energy efficient, also serve to make them more quiet, more comfortable, more durable, more sustainable. So it's a real win-win for consumers. Invest in energy efficiency, get a house that actually costs you less to operate, and at the same time, enjoy a quieter, more efficient, comfortable, healthier home to live in. It's a real win-win. An interesting question I get is, homeowners will ask me, how do I know before I move in whether the house is going to work well or not? And I think this is one of the best things that happened to our industry lately. There are now ways of testing houses and testing performance of HVAC systems and testing performance of the building envelope before you move in. There's no guesswork anymore. The best building contractors have available to them independent testing agencies that test the airtightness of a home to look for all the leaks, cracks, drafts that are going to occur in a home, and verify that those have been worked on before they move in. Find all the mistakes first. They also, those same contractors, can test the performance of the mechanical systems to make sure the air goes where it's supposed to go, at the right temperature, at the right pressure. So no more of these cold bedrooms and wondering, how do I make them comfortable again? All of that's been determined before homeowners move in. You don't have to wait for the first cold day to find out if your house is going to work. This is so powerful in the days. It's the mainstay, frankly, of some of the leading building code requirements and leading energy programs, is to have independent third-party verifiers come in and do performance testing on houses. It's always fun to look some of the myths that people have, some of the perceptions and myths that people have of how houses work. One of the most interesting ones is, can you make a house too tight? And I often ask this, I ask contractors all the time to ask their homeowners, exactly how many holes would you like in your house? And of course, any knowing consumer would say, well, none. I don't want any holes. I don't want bugs and dust and drafts coming into my house. But they also want fresh air in their home. And interestingly enough, we've known about this for a long time. Articles have been written hundreds of years ago about carefully chinking between the logs of the cabin to make sure there's no air leakage in, but at the same time making sure houses are carefully ventilated. So what we always talk about is build tight, ventilate right. 100 years ago, our really only ventilation system would have been windows. We would say to people, leave your windows open. Well, if you told that to a consumer today, noise, dust, security issues, nobody wants to leave the window open. So the leading builders today are carefully controlling the air leakage in and out of houses by building buildings tight, and then putting in very simple mechanical ventilation systems. Fresh air systems that bring in fresh air on a continuous basis, exhaust out stale, stinky air. The best of both worlds. Airtight building with no dust, no bugs, no moisture, and proper ventilation for families to be breathing on a continuous basis, healthy air. So, how do I choose a builder? That's a great question. I get that a lot. Everybody wants to find a builder they can trust. And from my perspective, it comes down to one thing. training and education, a commitment to constant training and education of the staff of a builder. There's been so many changes in materials, strategies, codes, even the expectations of consumers. Only knowledgeable builders, those that have committed to, I'm going to say at least quarterly training of all of their staff, so that they understand not only how to build, but why. How do we apply and why do we choose to do the strategies that we do? Builders that commit to that quarterly training, that's the question you want to ask your builder. How often do you put your staff or commit your staff to take training from manufacturers, from state authorities, from building scientists to ensure they know why they're doing what they do? The one thing that everybody should know about home building is this: everything impacts everything else. Every change that you make to one area of a house has an impact somewhere else. And you think, what are you talking about, change? Think about the changes in lifestyle, the number of hours we spend inside, the kinds of things we do inside of our houses, the expectations we have as to how houses work. All of those put huge stress on the building. The number of windows we put in a house impacts the amount of heat that flows in and out of those buildings, impacts the way mechanical systems work, the way we build houses in terms of the amount of insulation. The more insulation we put in houses, the less heat flow there is through the walls. That's a good thing. But it also changes the way buildings dry. So if we're going to add insulation, we also have to change the way we manage moisture inside of houses. So the most important thing that homeowners need to understand when they're choosing a good quality builder is a builder who understands that everything impacts everything else. The house is a system.